Oi lads, welcome back to our new video, and today we're gonna have a sports simulator called the NBA 2K23. So expected every year on the financial and technical field, NBA 2K23 does not disappoint this season. Apart from some crashes of the application on PS5 and on my PC during their third request, probably temporary before the first update, the title is the level of the last generation of consoles. Last season exclusively, intense lighting on certain rooms has been corrected, certain fail modes has been revised, and the collision engine is just impracticable on PS5 on Xbox Series finally. Remember that in the terms of sound, NBA room now its own official speaker. Official criticized for variety of animations numbers but unchanged for several seasons. 2K has raised the bar very high this year. New layups, new dunks, counters in race, one-handed shooting in Ave Maria, possibility of handing on top hoop for a long time. The licensed specialists will be shaken up from this point of view. Seemingly minor, the changes in the gameplay will also force the meta addicts to rack their brains to create the best career players and the teams in place to reinvent themselves. No one takeover period while the capable of the player are increased tenfold, then can be activated when only one player is bowling. It is now necessary for each member of the team to perform well. Also, a dribbler can only attempt an explosive dribble 3 times per progression, failing to be weak in the finishing of the last attempt. It will be necessary this season to play collectively and not only use lever pivot connection. Finally, let's talk about the shooting. While a professionally and fluorescent green animation accompanied perfect timing and a shot from the start of the ball, indicating to everyone that the shot was going to on. This animation now only occurs as soon as the ball touches of the hop or goes on. Ditto for the indication of defense and imperfect timing if you check the option in the parameters. Knowing the timing is more demanding than last season, we advise you to remove the shooting gauge in the settings to have a shooting bonus in the event of good timing and not give any indication to opposing team who will start a counterattack directly in the event of missed gauge. It is also more difficult this season to develop a perfect archetype. During player creation, some abilities are independent, for example in shooting abilities. It's no longer possible to have a 3-point shooter without them having any free throw or mid-range ability, or a good free throw center without having any mid-range shocking attributes. Compromise to be made which will cut back on defensive capabilities of badges to unlock, for example to limit ultra-complete players. Once the player has been created and the career launched, there is a whole new tone smaller than the previous one. Less waste but much more financial with the metro system and a brand new and more immersive team room. I just live as fast as pleasant on the NBA 2K22. In terms of the scenario, no epic staging like the last seasons, but rarely with the Steve Owen and player chosen in the middle of the drive like you in the same position. It's the NBA 2K with the highest number of cutscenes, but it's possible to skip them. Once the NBA entries quest has been completed, the players can move to the quest for several main courses: the fashion, the music, the NBA, the college flashbacks. Sometimes the dashes of different to perform depending on the position. These quests are still good way to discover the city and its new features such as the theater, new building that adds 6 temporary online game modes, renewable over the seasons and a perfect alternative to a park. For the first salvo of modes this year, just to illustrate this to you, we have for example a mode reserved for players with less 75 of general to clutch mode with procession only 12 seconds, or one with the line at 4 points. Regarding the solo pan of iteration, Take-Two has perfectly represented the trade aspect to Michael Jordan by bringing out the Closest to Jordan challenge mode. Already presented on NBA 2K11, it's a succession of challenges where relive the most 15 important things of Michael Jordan's career, which 3 objectives to complete pre-iron quarter. It's also an opportunity to rediscover the immersed career of airness with the rules and TV designs of the time. We have visual effects specific to all television sets. A sort of the last dance with the serious music by Alan Parr's project in the background with some particularly tough challenges. From Bear Dribblon into MyNBA is something for everyone. One of the great satisfaction of the game is indeed is usually solo mode, but possibly playable online. MyNBA, in association since 2021 of former MyGM and MyLeague, we have a franchise manager with a 200% configurable league system, but this season is novelty will now go unnoticed for the most nostalgic. Even we could integrate historical players with a fantasy draft before the season. A new choice of Dedica is the 80s Magic Johnson and the Bird, and the 19s the Bulls of Jordan, and the 200 the Kobe Bryant of the modern era dominated by the Warriors. All these teams and stuff adjust to the time time, and TV skins of all time, the visual identities of each franchise, and even the drafts can be carried out. An extra large addiction for a real pleasure in immersion. What call for hours the management of his favorite decade. In MyTEAM, card games similar to Ultimate Team games and other sports simulators done not radically change its formula and improves on several points. First, it's now possible to play co-op in MyTEAM in a triple threat. Each member of the team plays with NBA player acquired on the card, a great step forward and a good alternative to the career, since we control a current of historic NBA player this time. Another novelty is the possibility of blocking a position, i.e. controlling on the player through the match and leaving control of teammates to the computer. Useful if you are not comfortable calling and controlling the whole team, if you want to progress a position or win a challenge to improve the player's mode and the card. For the rest of the lifespan is consistent, the many online solo challenges in the classic seasons where you face opponents on the same level without any or without contracts the team of respect, and therefore a 3 against 3 possible in co-op. A little regret that the Season V, an exclusively female career mode and which MyNBA American Women's League, player join in franchise and start 75 in general before progressing over the matches. This later is almost unchanged from the last year and earns less by YC. Where the shoe pinches in the edition, and it's certainly not surprised, is the level of virtual currency. Like the last title of the license, it will take more than 260 VC to play and raise the player from the 60 to 85 in general rating. It's like 60 euros in VC, all without spending currency in MyTEAM mode. The need to find the new right archetype the first time is therefore crucial. Note that this season is the rebirth of just following you radio a player and raise him directly by the level 90 if you have enough VC is available by rising his first best pickable player to the 90 and winning a game of height with Seek Ronnie 2K. To finish on the gray areas, the career matchmaking for the Rig Pro-Am modes always limited, unbalanced, with the confrontations and combinations for position sometimes turning into a nightmare. But with many satisfactions brought by the opus, well past that time. At the end of the more convincing episode with the NBA 2K22, Take-Two had a live up to athlete of its over, and the end GOAT Michael Jackson can be proud. NBA 2K23 versions, PC, PS5, X is undoubtedly the best opus of the license to release date. In addition to already gargantuan Sprung, further improved in solo multiplayer thanks to MyNBA mode boosted by choice for 4 areas, return to the Jordan challenge. The former crazy dribbles are now limited online and must think collectively, certain times in more demanding but which fair a lot of the new animations come to shake up the regulars. Graphically flawless sticking in immersion with old school skins, for example, with the titles of Hall of Fame. Only gray area is the usual desire to take the credit card to get more VC and advance your player, a matchmaking that is still quite unbalanced and some crashes on certain career quests. Even Michael Jordan have flaws. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Everything is new on our channel. Each week we are posting the new video. Peace.